You were just here, ding dong. And now you're on the floor? You monster. You monster. Okay. Well, I think it's coming. I don't know. Take a sip of water while I'm waiting. Do. Seriously? Still going? It might be happening. I don't know. Okay, that one. Ooh, I put that one on live chat, don't I? Bam. Okay. 30 seconds, 35 seconds, 20. Come on. Let's go. Prove to me that you work. There it is. Hey, everybody. Welcome to You Swim a Problem. It's episode 509. Goodness gracious, we're 9 episodes removed from the 500th episode. Speaking of which, I got a bunch of stickers sent out yesterday. I got a bunch of prize boxes packaged, but not yet mailed. I need to get some. I bought a whole bunch of like medium-sized envelopes, and now I need to go get a whole bunch of larger envelopes to finish packaging them up. I don't want to send them all out until I can send them all out. We are down to. I got one there. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 11. I got 10 or 11 prize packages left. I guess what Michael Mystery wanted me to do was to make them giveaways for Cherry Tuesdays. But instead I goofed up and I'm giving away a whole bunch of them for the show 500 that we did. But I have a second box that he sent me of even more prizes. And so when we run out of 50-cent wishes, we will do those prizes as well. And those will be our giveaways. I have no idea what's in those. Complete Michael Mystery. Speaking of Michael Mystery, this is a fantastic shirt that he sent me. This thing is dope. I like it. Okay. How about I do the little thingy? And then we'll talk about where's my thingy. I'd got to go. Come on. There. We'll just short slide. Okay, so news off the bat. GME filed an 8K yesterday. This 8K cancels their credit facility. So they had lined up a credit line with some banks that was good for $250 million, you know, if they needed it for something. And it turns out they've got $4 billion and they don't need it. So they canceled the bank facility, the credit facility, and everyone's like, oh, okay, cool. But you dig deeper into the language of the credit facility, and what there is GameStop is required to report any action they take that's $75 million or more to the banks, which can give the market a heads up that GameStop's up to something. So by canceling the credit facility, they can now do any merger acquisition they want with stealth. Ooh. So we now have a stealthy ninja GameStop. So that's good. Other news, the plan man, Goldberg, over at the BBBY bankruptcy, he has filed an amended complaint against the previous board for their stock buybacks, and it's juicy. He's asking for over $2.5 billion, which is more than enough to cover all of the creditors and provide money for shareholders. Not the amount of $11.8 billion that we'd like to see, but you know, there's baby steps, right? And inside that, they're able to demonstrate that they did the stock buybacks as a way to keep an activist investor from taking over the company. So, like, Ryan Cohen offers them $400 million to pull them out of all the debt and crap that they're in and keep the company going. And they're like, how about instead we just do a bunch of stock buybacks? So they really screwed the pooch on that one. And the fact that they're not immune to such lawsuits because they never properly filed the paperwork back in the 90s is quite hilarious. So I'm sure that board is currently tripping over their dicks. JP Morgan got to pay something out of this, so it's fantastic, and that's where we are. Treat for monkey butt, please. Already, right off the bat, monkey butt treat. How about a pig's ear? Ooh, chopped pig's ear, monkey. Is that That sounds delicious. Look at this thing. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, pure heaven. Oh, don't drop it. Gotta eat it. Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Don't leave it on me. Pick it up. There you go. Oh, crap. That went really far away. Eat it. That's yours. Yeah. Don't you want it? Don't you want it? Don't you want it? Get it, monkey. Get it. Okay. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Speaking of giving things away, we have one thing to raffle off for this month's Charity Tuesday, and we should probably do that, right? Chrome. Oh, we're already on Chrome. Sweet. Never mind. All right, so get everybody into the ye old spreadsheet. Oh, yeah, I got to select it all first. Select it all. Copy. Name picker. Let's just refresh that sucker. Add entries. There we go. Okay. Control V. And all right. So who knows what we're getting? I don't know. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? No whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. SJ. Oh boy, looks like I'm sending this to Australia. Please be small, please be small, please be small, please be small. Okay. So SJ is the man. He already got, I sent something that was very expensive to Australia one time. I don't remember what it was. But, so SJ, oops. SJ is the winner. And what is SJ winning? Oh, get these little paper things here. Please be smallest one possible. Please be the smallest one possible. Number 8. SJ gets number 8. And number 8 is, one job, Cat. 1, 2. Oh, thank God. Oh, it's the smallest one possible. Yes. Okay. The smallest one possible out of all that group. Whew, to Australia it goes. It feels, I'll be honest, like a heavy pen, a tool of some kind. It's got a little spring to it. Maybe a tire pressure sensor. SJ, that's yours. I can't remember if I have your shipping address, but I can't remember what your handle is. So just send me a note saying, "Hey, shipping address above," and you, sir, will get a metal tube sent in the mail. That's heavy. Did you hear that? Monkey heard that, right? Okay. Whew. I'm so glad that was a small one. There's one big one over there. It probably cost me $80 to ship to Australia. Okay. So that's out of the way. What else was I doing? Was I doing anything else, Monkey? Cat? Anything? Anything? Yeah, we'll just hit the chats because what else are we going to do with our lives? Murphy Studios was first. John Castro was next first. John Castro said, "Happy birthday, soon. Did you get my self-addressed stamped envelope? I'm looking forward to my sticker and maybe a gift for the 500th episode." I got your self-addressed stamped envelope. I got your wife's self-addressed stamped envelope. I have 2 items for you, I believe, packaged away. So, you got 2 things coming. I just need to have a day where I can spend the afternoon at the post office annoying the postal worker with 24 packages. So, there we go. J-Dog, first thumb thingy. Corporal Walnut. I don't think we talk enough about the fact that Cohen started buying GME in 2019. I thought he started buying in August 2020. Did he start buying in 2019? So he was on this even before that? John Castro's RC ever sold any of his GME stock? No. Alex Bishop is here. John Castro, yeah, me neither. Jiminy, it's Houston. How goes the new kitten? My new Maine Coon is growing so much that she's bigger than any healthy adult cat I've ever known. Even the vet said she's going to be huge based on where she is now. The new kitten is lovely. I was hoping to show her off today, but my roommate decided to take her on a trip to go visit her siblings. So she's having a kitty play date today. And I think she gets her shots today too. I guess she's like 8 weeks now. I thought she was smaller than that, but she's rambunctious. She scares the piss out of Monkey Butt constantly. She comes to Monkey Butt, and Monkey Butt just starts violently shaking. For such a murder dog, kittens really do a number on you, don't they? They just have, they got 6 ends and 5 of them are pointy, right? She's like, "Don't talk shit about me." To any oneness, rock God, you catch that Kamala Harris announcement about appointing someone in her cabinet who was a Republican? Definitely strategic wording. So if ours wins Senate, appoint our senator whose state has a D governor, boom, D wins Senate. That's a pretty good plan, right? If I never Trumper or something in there. There's a few of them out there. I personally think the Dems might take the Senate. I don't think Rick Scott is long for this world politically. I think he can lose in Florida. And now Ted Cruz has such huge negatives that had Texas had a ballot measure on abortion, I think Ted Cruz could lose in Texas. He's I think a -1 or 2 in the state, while Trump's a +1 approval wise. So it's, Trump might win the state and Ted Cruz might lose his seat if that's the case. So that happens, John Tester is well loved in Montana, but Montana is very red, and each time he wins, everyone's like, whoa, that's something. So there's a chance that Tester loses in Montana, but I think Scott can lose in Florida, and if that's the case, then everything just kind of evens out again. Oh, Stephanie L. So does some of the $2 billion come out of the board's personal pockets? Also, can this suit last for years, and does it hold things up for us? A suit like this, I don't think lasts for years. I think a suit like this gets settled quickly. I think they lean on JP Morgan to settle it, because if it goes further and has more discovery, JP Morgan might be looking at RICO pursuits at that point. So JP Morgan probably offers cash. Here's money, make it go away. That'd be my guess. The board members don't have the $2.5 billion. They're rich, but they're not that rich. So they may have to pay up something, but my guess is that most of it will come from JP Morgan or some other similar facility that they were working with. Yeah, JP Morgan really fucked up. There's a paper trail of their misbehavior, acting like a board member when they are not a board member, telling the board what to do when they shouldn't be allowed to tell the board what to do, especially since they aren't shareholders, right? So it's dirty. It's very dirty. Monkey, where am I? I was Kitten 1. Alex Bishop, I put an order for 27,000 shares of No Labs, 27 cents. I hope it'll fill soon. Getting it. Goodness gracious. I would love to be able to buy chunks like that. I think among the viewers, Sad Boy has the most. He's got over 300,000. I've got a few thousand. That's about it. Nowhere near that. Elamon, don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the send the video to other people sharing buttons. John Castro, I have grown very fond of my GME portfolio, but I am looking forward to the day I can no longer resist cashing out a few shares. Aren't we all? Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice to just go boop, and then this part of your brain just frees up and just floats away, and then you feel like there's like an empty warehouse that you can fill with other things all of a sudden? That's what I'm looking forward to. J-Dog, James Webb Space Telescope finds 6 wandering rogue planets that formed just like stars. Go Mariners. They did. They were looking at the pillars of creation, I believe. And they got one of the images, they have just 3 alone that are visible in there, which is pretty incredible. These are like Jupiter or bigger sized planets, or brown dwarfs, I guess they are. They're too small to become stars, but they're more planet sized than what we usually consider brown dwarfs. The other interesting news is, so I gotta pull it up here. Okay, I gotta go to Twitter. Go to the notifications. You gotta go to bam. Okay, here we go. So, the LZ dark matter experiment has ruled out weakly interacting massive particles, WIMPs, with a wide range of properties. This is what I have been talking about for years. I haven't gone on a dark matter rant in a while, so I might as well touch on one here. Dark matter doesn't exist. It doesn't. It does not exist. There's no such thing as dark matter. There never was such thing as dark matter. It was just poor math skills and poor data amalgamation. So if we are going to yak about it, I might as well turn you off. I'm gonna turn you off. I'm gonna turn you on. Oh yeah, turn you on, baby. Boom. File. New. Don't save. Okay, so when galaxies are first being born, when they're quasars, and quasars are these really bright objects, billions and billions of years ago. We're like, oh, why are these things so bright? They shine like stars. What they are brand new forming galaxies, where all this material is swirling into a mass at the center of the galaxy, forming an incredibly bright black hole. You know, so how is a black hole bright? Because as things fall in, they fuse and give off a bunch of light. So you have way back when you got these galaxies, right? And they're very bright. But out of them, where'd my? Oh, there we go. Out of them comes these crazy jets that shoot out of the poles, and they have these bulbs at the end of them. So if we were to try to make that one look like it goes behind, and they got these big lobes. And what's happening is, and the best analogy I ever heard is imagine you stuff a garbage disposal and you flick on the switch and shit just starts flying out the top while stuff is being sucked down. That's kind of what black holes are. They're this giant, gooey, messy garbage disposal in space. A bunch of stuff's getting sucked in, and a lot of stuff is getting spit out before it ever gets into the event horizon. And this material is shooting out into space, and because the black holes are spinning so fast, they've got these really focused, tight magnetic field lines. And so ionized gas, charged gas, negatively charged gas, gets focused into these things and fired out like lasers. And we've seen some of these quasars that actually point at us, where the black hole points at us, and we call them BLAC objects. Basically, they're space lasers, what they look like, because they look like a piece of laser light pointed right at the Earth. And they take a huge amount of the gas and dust that's inside of these galaxies and spit them in these lobes. And they're focused lasers, and they kind of lose their charge, and everything just kind of starts tumbling out like a little mushroom cloud. And we can look at anything, probably 14 to about 10 billion years ago, and we see these things everywhere. And now we look at today, we don't have the active galaxies, the active galaxies or the active black holes happening, and the galaxies have, maintained their thing. But when we look at them, we're like, wait, there's way more mass in this galaxy cluster than we can see. Huh. Well, perhaps, maybe, it's this material that got blasted out of them that's just kind of floating around the galaxies. Wow. All of a sudden, that explains why there's a bunch of dark matter, a whole bunch of ionized gas. Ionized gas can't give off light because you need electrons to change energy levels. And if you don't have electrons inside the gas, there's no electrons to change energy levels. Therefore, you're not going to give off any photons. You're never going to see it. Boom. Invisible gas. But it has mass. Gas with mass, baby. Okay. Number 2. Inside of our own galaxy. I'll go back to black here. Inside our own galaxy, what we see is, we'll make a big swirly do here. And okay, so inside of our own galaxy, we see the objects are traveling faster than they should. So objects close to the black hole should be going really fast, right? Because they're close to the center of mass, etc. Using Kepler's laws, the further out you get from the center of the galaxy, the slower things need to travel. And so we assume, because like in our own solar system, right? The planets further away from the sun travel at a slower speed around the sun than the planets closer in. They have to maintain much faster speeds so they don't fall into the sun. And what we see instead is actually that they're traveling just as fast as the stuff inside the galaxy. And a lot of the excuses that dark matter people say is that there must be a lot of black holes and or dark matter out in the halo of the galaxy. We have things in the halo. There are like star clusters and stuff that kind of orbit the main plane of the galaxy in weird eccentric patterns. And we look for it and we don't really see the black holes. We see some of the star clusters, but there's not just enough to make up for it. The problem is that having a whole bunch of unaccounted for mass outside the galaxy does not affect the rate of orbit of the things inside the galaxy. This is because of Newton's shell theorem. I'm gonna have to go and make a new one here. New. Don't save. So Newton's shell theory. Ooh, I can do a circle, can't I? Bing. Newton figured out that brushes that, you know, the amount of gravity you experience has to do with how much mass is in the object and how far away from the center of mass you are. So if you ever did physics and you did your gravitational constant times mass over distance plus mass over distance, and you figure that sucker out. And he also figured out that if, say, I don't know, okay, go like this, we'll cut a chunk out of the sucker. Pop, 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 pop. Okay, cut a chunk out of that sucker. I will try to make it nice if I can. Bam. Bam. Oops, nope. You go right there. And bam. Okay, we cut a chunk out of this planet. We now have a little dude, brushes. Now we have a dude standing much closer to the center of mass, right? What Newton figured out is that what happens is... Ooh. No, that's the wrong one. I meant to do a circle. Why did I click on square? Okay. Newton figured out that basically you can discount all of this when figuring out the force of gravity. If you are inside the radius of the planet, your gravitational constant changes, and you discount all the gravity that is now outside of your radius. So all that stuff here doesn't make sense anymore. So if you've got a galaxy, your galaxy, disk, whatever, and you have a whole bunch of stuff orbiting way outside of that galaxy, then anything inside of it does not care about the objects outside of it. It does not calculate towards their rotational velocity because it doesn't contribute to their gravitational pull. So the main things that a lot of astronomers have been saying has been the cause of dark energy aren't, right? So there must be something else. There must be something else that's causing this dark energy. And I'll tell you exactly what it is once I make a new one. New, don't save. Okay, back to drawing a galaxy. This time we're going to treat the galaxy like a disk, right? So we have a disk. It's like 1,000 or 2 light years thick and about 100,000 light years across, 100K. Womp. And maybe 2K, right? Bink. Bink. Okay. So we've got this huge disk. It's full of stars. In our own galaxy, there's about 100, 150 billion stars or so. Because most stars are actually teeny tiny. The galaxy visible matter of stars is like 60 billion solar masses, even though we got 100 and 150 billion stars in it, because there's a lot of stars smaller than our own sun. But Voyager 2, when Voyager 2 left our solar system, it hit this giant river of material that is about 40,000 times more dense than the inner solar system. And why is this? Because our sun is a big, giant, glowing orb that has solar winds pushing out, meaning particles come flying off the sun at millions of miles an hour and basically clear out almost everything out of the galaxy, any tiny little particle or anything out of the solar system, and all that material ends up in interstellar medium, the ISM. And the ISM is full of lots of gas and dust, 40,000 times more than our own solar system. When we were calculating the density of the galaxy, we did it by the vacuum of our solar system, which is about 1 proton per cubic meter. So imagine cubic meter, right? How much of a vacuum you have with 1 proton going boom, ping, right? Super vacuum. There's 40,000. Actually, sorry, it's 40,000 per cubic centimeter. So it's way more than that. It's 40 million times what our density of our own solar system is. So you have 40,000 particles per centimeter in the interstellar medium. Meaning, if you calculate, you take the disk of the galaxy and you do the volume equation for a cylinder, You calculate it for how many centimeters you have, cubic centimeters you have inside of this giant cylinder, and you plug in 40,000 protons per cubic centimeter. You end up with plenty of mass to make up for what should be the dark energy of the galaxy, and it fits right in for how fast objects should be rotating and all that. So ever since my undergraduate, I've been yelling at my professors and colleagues and everyone else that dark matter doesn't exist. And finally, we have dark matter scientists going, yeah, I don't think it exists. It's so long. So long. Anyway, moving on. So that was James Webb Space Telescope. N9, Houston, thoughts on Jake sloppering all over Pulte? Thoughts about him likely receive cash from him? I mean, people offer you money. You generally take money. I have no idea. I've not seen the sloppering. I just read his DD stuff and his deep dives. So I don't know. I mean, we all went to Florida. I went to Florida and was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I don't like this. I didn't take the free share or any of that stuff. It just wasn't my speed. So, but you know, you experience things and you figure out what's right for you, and that wasn't my deal. But hey, you know, people want to pay you. You go, all right. As long as you don't let it affect your outcomes, and you can maintain some sort of integrity. They might be really mad at you for coming up with conclusions that don't fit their preconceived notions. But, you know, it is what it is. Lisa Saw. Hasn't been a YOLO update from Kitty in a while. Hoping GME green momentum can carry on towards earnings. Yeah, it will. I mean, if anything, it will do the green. Earnings come out, crash. Right? That's usually how it rolls. Citizen 54 made Trump rot in hell for desecrating Arlington, a traitor to his country and coward. Yeah, the Arlington thing is quite strange. Apparently, he showed up to do a TikTok ad, and the officials at Arlington like, you can't do that. That's against the law. No filming campaign ads here. This is not what this is for. You know, and one of his officials got in a physical fight with the person from the army in charge of Arlington Cemetery, and then they found a family who was visiting a grave that day, and they basically asked like, hey, can we glom onto you? And that was their in. And so then photos got released of Trump with his thumbs up at the grave of this young woman with the family, but there are other graves in the picture, and the families of those fallen soldiers were quite upset. It seems like a really just a bad planning thing to do. Like, you're already in trouble for shitting on veterans in general, calling them suckers and losers. You're already in trouble for basically saying that the Medal of Honor is gross because like those guys are icky and missing limbs and stuff. And now you are making weird photo ops using dead soldiers as a backdrop, and just doesn't look good for anybody. Even one of his campaign people are like tagging and harassing the Secretary of the Army now on social media. It's weird. Don't do that. Be classier than that. I mean, I guess some people can't be classy because they coat everything in gold plating and marble, but you'd think people when they're 78 years old have a little bit more wherewithal of them about social norms and cues and, you know, respect and disrespect and all that stuff. It's weird to me. Don't do that. Snurtler is here. Lisa Saw, Houston. Do you think you could go around the world in 80 days based on the transport available of Phileas Fogg's days? Wasn't there a billionaire who did it in just a really, really fancy high altitude hot air balloon really fast? But that was, granted, it was like a helium balloon and all those things. Around the world in 80 days. Okay, they had steamships then, right? So you could traverse the ocean in like 10 days if necessary. So let's say you start in New York and you go east, right? Start in New York, you go east. Let's look at this. That's a good question. My feeling is yes, I think we could. But you know, we're gonna leave these atolls here. Head on out. Go far, 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 far away. We're gonna start in New York, right? I think they started in London on theirs, but we'll start in New York because we're American. So you get on a steamship, and I wouldn't go to the UK. I would start on the steamship, and I would go to mainland Europe somewhere, maybe France, right? Land somewhere in France, and then you get on the Orient Express. The Orient Express, where's Orient Express go? Orient Express route. Goes to Istanbul. Okay. So, whoops. So you go here, you go to Istanbul, and it probably takes what, 4 or 5 days to get to Istanbul. So you get to Istanbul, and then you're gonna have to take another train, probably through Persia to India, and probably from India to Southeast Asia. Maybe get into like Thailand or something. From there, you have to steamship again, right? You have to steamship. I'm not sure back then how direct route steamships work. Maybe you can steamship from China. But you can probably get from steamship from China to Los Angeles. So let's say it takes you, all right, we got 10 days to go from New York to France. Maybe, let's say 5 days from France to Istanbul. So that's 15 days. From Istanbul to China, it's probably a dozen different trains. Let's say it takes you a couple weeks. So we'll go with 15 days. You're at 30 days. Get to China, right? And you're flying. You're not stopping to take pictures. You are just on trains, you know, watching the landscape whiz by. You get to China. You get onto another steam freighter of some kind, and you go across the Pacific Ocean. Remember, the Pacific Ocean is giant. It is an entire hemisphere of the Earth. So let's say it probably takes you a couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks to get across. So you're going from 30 days to 51 days to get to, say, Los Angeles. And then you have to train it from Los Angeles across the United States, which is about 7 to 10 days. So you can probably do it in, 60 days or so. I bet you could do it in 60 days. That gives you a 20-day window to miss out. Granted, he was doing hot air balloons. He was doing all sorts of goofy things. But I think just trains and steamships, you could do it. Now, if your steamship has to stop off, like make a dozen stops in like South Pacific and Hawaii and Fiji and stuff, then that'll really ruin your time schedule there. But I bet you could do it in 60 days. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yes, I could. There. Okay. Daphne's here. Hello. Kate Chapman's here. Hello. Fair turn. Sup, dude. We've been waiting for years now. At what point do we realistically believe GME will rip? It's becoming hard to see the 6-digit price points after so long. Thoughts hype me up. Just remember, the longer it takes, the bigger the peak is going to be, right? Because the only way they keep the price down is by increasing their liability. And if they increase their liability, it means they have to buy even more shares than they had to initially. So the longer it goes, the higher the peak. That's basically it. It seems pretty standard to me. I'm not sure how much more hyping you need than that. But if Ryan Cohen keeps diluting every time that we have a run, though, then it's gonna take forever. Hopefully he's done with his dilution, and the next time it's on the table, he runs with it, man. That's what I hope, anyway. Julius gifted some memberships, doing some lurker hunting. D, Logic Dustbin, Julian Fikiru, Giga Shukla and Antonio Baez all got memberships. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Julio. Rose Moon. Houston, if you were transported to the medieval times, what would be your worst fears or things you want to avoid? My biggest... What would be like... what would be the term I'm looking for, Kitty? The biggest unsubstantiated, unreasonable fear ever is to find myself transported back in time where there's no toothpaste. I now know how to make toothpaste on my own if it comes down to it. I know where there's fluoride deposits all over the world. I will make my own toothpaste. I will be the inventor of toothpaste if I am ever transported back in time. I will invent water heaters. I will invent toothpaste. I will invent soap. And I will bathe these disgusting, medieval, gross people. Because, like, can you, like, whenever I see, like a movie that takes place in the medieval ages and there's, like, two people making out, like, ew. It's just rot and decay. And can you imagine, like, making out with somebody and they've lived 25 years or so and they've never once scraped the crap off their teeth? They never had a bath in their lives, right? Like, ugh. It's amazing that we ever procreated in the first place, knowing that was like what we're getting into, man. Just some gross schmegma-covered uncut schlong just pounding away, making grandbabies. It's amazing they all just didn't die of like UTIs back then. So no, no, I will bathe them. I will bathe them all. I will brush their teeth. I will bathe them. I will comb their dreadlocks. I will get rid of their lice. That's what. Yeah. Mike Forsch, did you ever jump in CBRE? I have not yet. I'm waiting until after rate cuts. Because my guess is that they'll probably peak again if they cut rates. And then after that is when will happen. So hopefully I have some cash to play with by then. But yeah, I'm waiting until after the rate cuts in September, which I think will be what, like September, between the 10th and the 15th probably is when they would announce that. Horace Raspy, Houston. Thoughts on MOAS this year or next year, or is there no MOAS, just crazy squeeze? Remember, we had two chances. Once May 17th and once on June 7th where we could have MOAS'd. Like, it would have taken the entire market down. It would have obliterated them. Had GameStop not diluted. Now they got $4 billion on hand. Cool. But yeah, we could have absolutely vaporized every hedge fund on earth had they let that thing rip on those two Fridays. So it can happen. Now, the timescales and when it's going to rip again, I have no idea. Things are going to have to meet up just right. And we're going to have to see, you know, the same type of action on call options. But at the moment, TBD. Like, a crazy squeeze is enough to take them out. Because, remember, like, there was a 12% short interest on Volkswagen. 12%. The whole reason the squeeze happened was because Porsche bought, like, all of Volkswagen. Now, with GameStop, the short interest is probably 1,000%. Somewhere in there. So if it has a crazy squeeze, all we need is one day closing above $80, and I think that's enough to do them in, and to cause, you know, basically seizure of assets at all these hedge funds and then liquidation and so on. So yeah, it can happen. If it's this year, I don't know. We'll have to see what tricksteries the stuff Cohen has up his sleeve. Paratarian, think those SEC whistleblowers were the ones who threw Andrew Left under the bus? No, I think the whistleblower was the guy that came out showing that he had outed the stock exchange algorithms. I think that's the dude who made $80 million. He went silent for like a year while he was under whistleblower status. He just appeared on what, like Friday or something, being like, "Hey, this is what I uncovered when I went whistleblower," and he showed the algorithms they use to basically manipulate prices in the market. So, Mike Forrest, your feelings about WTO and UBXG? WTO, World Trade Organization, or WTO something else? WTO stock? U-Time Limited. Oh crap! Dead guy monitor just blanked out. Come on, dead guy monitor, go back. I know you're possessed. That's okay. Come on, okay. Never heard of them. Their stock is 9 cents. Has been as high as 14 today. Wow. So it was like 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents. Fired up to $2.23 on August 27th, which was Tuesday, and has since fallen off a cliff. Huh. Corporate reshuffle. I've never heard of this stock, but whoever got in at 30 cents got out at $2. Great for them. What's the other one? I'm gonna take the earth off here. Boom. Nope. Gotta put that one on. There we go. Yeah, they went crazy, and then shabam, drop back down again. Our UBXG. Never heard of that one either. There's people who pay attention to these penny stocks. I just can't keep up with them. UBXG stock. It's $1 something. UBX Technologies. What you got on the 1 year? Same thing. You know, sat at $4, sat at $4, sat at $4, sat at $4, flew to $30 and then crashed. Huh. Well. News. No news about it. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they do. So I have nothing to offer except for whoever got in on those things early and got out not too late, they did fine. Someone was playing options play on this sucker. If options are available, way to go. Is there options? Is there an options chain? There's no options chain, so no. There was no one playing options on that sucker. So someone made out like a bandit. That's for sure. Matthew Jackson, where's Grandpa Barney been? Hope he's doing well. I've not heard from him. I sent him a message. I've not heard from him there either. So I hope he's doing well. He's been. I know he had a huge, absolutely, he had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of shares of AMC. And if he still kept it through the reverse split, he probably lost a lot on that. So I hope he's doing all right. Okay, Chapman, got a friend that's a risk assessor at a firm, and he's looking into collectibles business that's working with GME. Anything you think I should ask him? I mean, the collectibles GME does are focused on like bobbleheads and Pokemon cards and Magic and Fungo Pops and things like that. The weird plushy things. I'd ask him if they're ever going to go into like sports cards, because sports cards are having a crazy resurgence right now. Prices have actually gone bonkers like they did in the 80s on sports cards all over again. It might be that like people who collected in the 80s during that boom are now have money and they're doing it all over again. But yeah, I'd ask him about sports cards if GameStop's ever going to get into that. Mike Forsh, Nextbridge Hydrocarbons filed amendment to S1. The S1 they filed is for they found accredited investors to sell another 40 million shares to. So they found some rich people who are going to fund probably hole digging that they're going to have to do. I would like to see the S1 about spinoff. Tell me about the spinoff. That's what I want to know about. Tell me about that spinoff. Get that done, and then whatever you guys do, you do. Fair turn. RC absolute. Oh, sorry, I can't read. RC seriously needs to get GME into the esports industry, whether supplying the games with their branded hardware or funding a GME branded team. Oh, definitely. I had talked about 3 years ago that they should use, get extra mini mall space next to their stores, poke a hole in the wall, and have space so that you can have a little league type esports, right? Saturday mornings, parents and their kids come in. They either have computers set up for them or they bring in their own luggables and they have tournaments. Just like you have soccer games and Little League games on Saturdays. You get stuff for the autistic nerd kids to do. Right, Monkey? You'd love that. You'd love to see a bunch of people on computers. You could just get their ears scratched the entire time they're like playing Fortnite or whatever. But just imagine, like, you have to walk through the store to get to the gaming area where you're paying, a $200 entry fee to play in the league every year, so they're getting money from that. And then, you got snacks and drinks. And then, after however many hours of playing, right, you have to walk back through the store again where the kids are like, Mom, Dad, can I get this? Can I get this? Can I get this? It would just be brilliant. And throughout the week, you'd have practice sessions there, right? Got to drop them off for practice. Easy peasy. Your coaches at the GameStops are telling kids about the classic games that they used to grow up on, how much fun they were and how challenging they were. And all of a sudden these kids are playing old Nintendo games and things, and they're spending money, like, right? I think it would be great. Just, I don't know why they aren't doing it. It's such a huge market. Everywhere where there's a GameStop, you'd have 500 kids signing up, right? Making hundreds of thousands of dollars for that store, for their league. You could attach the league to the local parks district, right? Like, my dad is a member of this old hippie yacht club. It's totally run down. It's not rich people at all, but they've got tons and tons and tons of tiny little sailboats, and they teach all the sailing classes. They are signed up through the parks district to offer all the sailing courses for kids. So if you want some kid to learn how to sail when they're 8 years old, they go to my dad's yacht club and get taught by some old hippie on an old Opti, and they go sailing about all summer long. The yacht club is not the parks district. They just license through them. So you can do the same thing in all these towns where there's GameStops. Seems like a no-brainer to me. Ryan, I know you watch this show religiously. Just get it done already. And since you got $4 billion in cash, you can buy up mini malls on the cheap now and own the property. You don't have to worry about paying leases and all that crap. You can make money off of leasing to other people for their other stupid little, Castle Superstores and Subways and whatnot. They'll be in there. Chiropractors and dollar stores. Allegro Grub. Houston, happy birthday. Was wondering if you had ever looked into the ticker NDRA for Endra Life Sciences. They have a thermoacoustic enhanced ultrasound similar to MRI to assess the fatty tissue in the liver. They did a reverse split last week and now got notice to stay on the NASDAQ as long as they stay above $1 or above for 10 consecutive days before November 20th. And today, they announced the FDA has advanced their review stage. Might be another no labs type of play. I have never heard of NDRA. Let's have a look-see at NDRA. NDRA stock. So they did a reverse split. So let's look at, so they're going to do a reverse split, I guess. So they're at 40 cents right now. Looks like they had a big old drop. They had been over $100 earlier in the, that's a huge drop. So they were $125 in December, and they've just collapsed since then. Goodness gracious. That is, wow. What's the reverse split going to be? NDRA reverse split. Announces a reverse split. It's on the 16th. An increased bid. So they were 16th, June, July, August 9th. So they announced it, and they were at $2, and they've lost like 80% of their value since they announced the reverse split. So they're going to reverse split back to the price they already were, basically, if it's like a 10 for 1. Ouch. Big ouch. Ugh. Ugh. Unless they already did the reverse split and now they're at 40 cents. Man. Well, hopefully they survive long enough for their device to come out. If the device is coming out, then 40 cents might be a steal right now. Dylan Miller, 509ers? Oh, it's the show, 509. I was like, 509ers? Here we are, yes. This crunch is from Monkey Very Crispy. I'm now at the start of the show, finally. Oh, crud. There's the reset of the chat. I'm not going to be able to get to everyone's tweets or things, that's for sure. Sorry, short show. I should have gotten my shit together earlier, but I didn't. I will be doing a Twitch tonight. So again, I know a lot of people don't give a crap about me saying French highway numbers over and over again on GeoGuessr, but I will be doing GeoGuessr tonight. If there's any questions I didn't get to, swing on by there. There's like 10 people that show up to watch GeoGuessr, so you can get your questions in no matter what. And either watch me be incredibly impressive, or like last show, miss by so much. Just Mammy, question for you today is, what is the BBBY insurance cap for management fraud? I think 10 million. So it'd be 10 million per person on that one. So I don't know how many board members are getting sued, like 9. So there's 90 million bucks, and they have to cover whatever goes above that, I believe. You sure it looks like the Saved by the Bell graphics? I could see that. Yeah. I can see that. Thoughts you shade if Monkey Butt ever becomes a parent, please name the puppy Monkeypox. Her giblets are gone, so that's not gonna happen. Nick Rhea, Kamala bombed the interview. I have not seen the interview. Has she even done the interview yet? Frozen Productions calculator. I borrow money to short 10,000 of GME at $20. What are my fees? Monthly, quarterly, yearly? When do I have to pay back my loan? Other fees. Shorting right now, the fees are about 5%. So in order to do that, you have to have a lot more stuff in it. Because the short GME, I think you need like a 3-to-1 asset ratio, collateral-wise. So I guess we can do a quick calculator, kind of figure out what this might be. Okay, turn on the calculator. Turn off Chrome. Nope, calculator turn on? You did. I gotta turn off the MS Paint. That's what I got. There we go. Okay, calculator. Where'd you go? There you are. All right, so we got 10,000 of them at $20 a piece. Whoops, how'd that happen? 10,000 at $20 a piece. So you made $200,000. Your interest is probably 5% a year, my guess. So you're paying $10,000 a year just to borrow these, right? So if the stock price drops $1, so you're gonna be 190,000. So stock price drops $1 even. You're only making a profit if it drops $2. If that's the case. I'm not sure what the fees are for initial borrow, but they seem to be pretty insane right now. Probably another 5%. So you have to make it has to drop at least $2 for you to break even. So you're looking at $3 probably for profit. Yeah. Someone's saying run the clip. I don't have time to run the clip today. I only got 5 minutes left. If I waste a minute of it doing the the clip, then I won't be able to answer another question. Colin, just listening from the backyard by the pond, doing some cleanup today. Sounds great. Chris Taylor's here. David Brooks here. MMTLP putting 40 million shares out. How does this help or hurt us? Does it seem like any path towards resolution? Thoughts? It's not a path towards resolution. I think it is a way of getting cash together so they can keep drilling, so they can maintain their leases. That's the thing. The drilling's expensive. It'd be much better if they just owned the drilling rigs than leased them. Just buy the stupid rigs. It's so much cheaper. It's crazy. Like, as a geologist, if I wanted to drill a hole, right, some sort of spec hole, a bore to do testing, let's say it goes 1,000 meters, so 3,000 feet. You're looking at $150 a meter to drill. So you're spending $450,000 to drill that hole, one hole. Then you have to go get it assayed, and all that stuff's going to cost a fortune as well. To buy the drilling rig is about $500,000. So I can go buy a drilling rig for brand new for $500,000, do it myself, and if I drill 2 holes, I'm now saving money. Same thing with drilling oil. If you just buy the rig for $500,000 to $1 million, one hole probably saves you the rental fees on that rig. So just do that. I don't understand why these companies don't do that. It just seems like a no-brainer to me. You buy a new machine, you have a X number of year warranty on it. So if there's any problems with it, they just come out and blah, 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 blah. But I think some people are just like, well, we'll just lease it and then, whoever we're paying the renting it from will deal with all that stuff. But it costs you so much more money in the long run. They could drill 5 holes at cost, basically, if they just bought their own rig rather than leasing one and then hiring a whole bunch of contractors to do it. You should put some dudes on salary. Their job is to just drill holes, and you'd save yourself probably $20 million a year. Just do that. It's great money for the contractors, that's for sure. They're making a killing. C.J. Hagan, I think there's a good chance a Republican Senate seat gets switched to independent in Nebraska. How is he doing there? It's 5:30. I cannot. 5:38. Nebraska Senate. Okay, let's see what's updates on here. Chrome. So, back in July, early July, Osborne was way down on Torchlight Strategies, but the same poll done by Red Wave Strategy had him at 42-42. That's even. And right now he's 41-43 as of August 12th. Huh, that is really close. And considering that abortion is on the ballot in Nebraska, means there's going to be a huge blue turnout, huge woman turnout. So yeah, he's got a chance. You're right. He does have a chance to flip that seat. And he's a union dude, so he's going to caucus with the Democrats if he is independent in there. That is crazy. November of last year, he was up 2 points. Am I reading this right? Osborne is the which one? Osborne's the dude is the union guy, right? And Fisher is the lady that's been in there the entire time. And Osborne. Yeah, he's the union guy. Okay, get my names right. That's wild. Huh. We haven't had an independent senator in a while. I guess Bernie was independent, and then he signed up with the Democratic Party, run for the Democratic nomination. So, interesting. Okay, I can do like one more, and then I have to run away. Okay, that was Steve Hagan. Kid Katie, happy birthday. Can you please dance like no one's watching? I can do the Trump dance where I'm like jerking off 2 NBA centers. How about that? Like, woo, yeah. You boys having fun? Daphne likes him. Likes Osborne as a candidate. Michael Tucker, Kamala comes across as completely inept and ill-prepared. Again, I don't know what interview you're talking about because I don't think interview has been released yet. If it has, I'll have to watch it. So you have Hagen's in Nebraska. I can voting for Osborne, and Julius Miami. If so ill prepared, why so worried about losing to her? Okay. I gotta go. I'll see you guys tonight on Twitch. Come on by. Seriously, no one hangs out. 200 of you will show up if I do a late night normal show. So come by Twitch and watch me look at maps. It will blow some of your minds. I guarantee it. Okay. Daytime intro 2. Dog.
Houston, we have a problem.
And SJ, remind me your address so I can send you your metal tube. Okay.